Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, August 11th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. We have a time for change call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. We are all stars of our own movie. And as the stars of this grand motion picture called The Amazing Life of, plug your name in there, you have the most fantastic role to play. Your main part is to truly enjoy it all. That's right. You're here to celebrate the drama, enjoy the sad parts, the scary scenes, and all the actors and performers you meet with along the way. Really enjoy every single interaction that you get to participate in, simply because enjoyment is our main purpose for being here. Believe it or not, enjoyment is our main purpose for being here in these bodies. This is a feat that can be quite challenging for us, as we may not remember the inexhaustible reality behind the scenes. So the big, bodacious truth that hits us when all the props, costumes, and masks fall off at the end. We've been such awesome actors for so long that we probably forgot the wonderful, playful, and innocent childlike character who we were before we started acting this serious adult part. We all get caught up in the movie, whether we're creating a drama, comedy, romance, or a fast action motion picture. There are many temptations along the way, which make us forget how it is all one big play. So all of us are invited today to take just 1 hour of our life to step off the typical main stage that we are on and just rip off our mask and costume. It's almost like I dare you to stop playing your role completely and adventure out far behind the stage and even leave the theater if you dare. For just one day, give it all up and explore who and what and why each of us are the way we are. We get radically curious about the real, and not to be afraid to dive into the audience for a new perspective of the stage. And if we can make it outside the building, we just might see the big signs above that say, "Is forever the star of the show." It's always our movie, and it's always our time to shine. And if we don't like how our show has been turning out so far, we can change the plot, the scene, stage, actors, and rewrite all the important lines that we're going to speak tomorrow. We can do all this anytime we wish. And today's a good time to start. Today's the day when the greatest star, all of us, of all time, are about to be born. Not to take it for granted, the bliss of pure being. Banish the ego and develop the spirit of surrender, and you will experience bliss. Sai Baba. There's nothing that we need to do. A lot of us think we have to do something. There's nothing we need to do. There is nowhere we need to go to find out who we are and what is inside our soul. The mind is always busy seeking, searching, yearning to find the answer that will satisfy its thirst. Yet, when you simply stop searching and remain very quiet, really relaxing inward with infinite patience and stillness, we will eventually discover a feeling of bliss that is beyond anything we've ever experienced before. This bliss is the core truth of who and what we are. It is always here, not out there. It abides as we at the core of our beings. It feels like a deep, vast presence of eternal peace and extremely joy combined. It has always been here, waiting for us to relax into it. We simply have to choose to remove, our energy and attention from the outer world to find it, that it is inside of us. The greatest enlightened masters all say to live in this world, yet not of this world. That's a big key. All of those before us say to live in this world, not of this world. Meaning, do your life, yet don't get hooked into it. Do your life, don't get hooked into it. Do not be attached to dramas and traumas of this short time. We are all here. We have come here for much more amazing things. We are here to discover the divine within each and every one of us. This glorious state of bliss can only find us if our being is pure, not attached to anything out there. Tall order, isn't it? Life and love is so simple, it is actually effortless. Yet, we easily run around our entire lives seeking it everywhere in the outer world and always miss it. There is real freedom available to us in this very moment. We can access it by surrendering our minds to something bigger than ourselves. For even just a few minutes in total stillness is silence. Today is the day to call off the search for happiness out there and relax into the truth of who we truly are. Is stop searching for fulfillment outside of ourselves in this physical world. It is all a trap. All the money, success, relationships, possessions, accomplishments, social likes, and desires, experiences will satisfy us only temporarily, yet never fully satisfy us. Their joy is impermanent and will come and disappear like the clouds in the sky. We will experience fleeting moments of happiness, of course, and yet only minutes later the mind starts seeking for something else which it believes will make you happy again. Be careful of this desiring, demanding, needy ego. It is deeply addicted to entertainment, thoughts, and desires. It is not your real identity. It is like your shadow, a false figure that shows up from you blocking the light. The ego is always following the mind like a lost sheep. It's not listening to our hearts, and our hearts know the way to true happiness. Real happiness is found when we stop this ego mind and drop deeper inside. When we completely stop the outer search and feel into our souls, experience that which is real, that which doesn't come or go, what is permanent. Continuously redirect your attention towards what this is. That which is eternal will be filled with the divine light of awareness. If you want to reach a state of bliss, then go beyond your ego and the internal dialogue, Deepak Chopra. Everything we are unhappy, okay? Every time we are unhappy, it was and is because we were over-identified with a belief, thought, or desire. Over-identified with a belief, thought, or desire. We lost our center of awareness and became this grasping, needy, demanding, illusionary mind. Whenever we feel unhappy, the desiring mind is simply not getting what it thinks will make it happy from the outer world. The mind is an addict. Do not trust it. Trust your heart instead. It knows the way home. It always has. The mind cannot instantly open the door to the divine, yet the heart can. The door to the heart is always open and ready for any of us to step through. Just open up to this great love inside you that loves all people, including yourself, deeply and eternally. Discover this love inside your heart. It is the one love where everything good in our lives radiates from. This love is the center of it all. On this great journey, the mind is our main distraction to finding bliss. It will entrap us in all sorts of crazy emotions like anger, frustration, sadness, doubt, and fear. Yet, even when these challenging moments occur, don't give them too much energy. Relax into your heart. Feel into your souls. Our egos are a drama queen and a professional at making us unhappy. We can step back from it all, relax into the source of love that is there at our innermost being. This is the door to bliss. It is the source of who we truly are. It cannot be destroyed, cannot be changed, diluted, or tainted by unhappiness of the ego mind. The bliss of our being is always available. The bliss of the Creator forever permeates all of creation, and it is only in the forgetting that misery exists during virtue. The good news is that we can pull over and stop the suffering right now. We never have to do anything again to experience the bliss of our being. Our simple state of beingness is our blissful nature. All we need to do is allow ourselves to surrender to who and what we truly are beneath all these thoughts and experiences. We choose to be tired by now, all right? So it's like we must be tired by now of this spirit perpetual search for being satisfied. It's a little old. The ego has been conducting this massive search for lifetimes. By now, we must be ready for a break. If we want a technique to do this, here it is. Practice meditation daily, as we do. Meditating is simply the fine art of watching all the various thoughts passing through the moment without getting caught up in them, while simultaneously following the rising and falling of the breath, relaxing deeper and deeper into the body until it's perfectly at peace and at ease with all existence. The golden secret to meditation is that no matter how many times your mind wanders back to following the thoughts, continue to practice being the watcher of your breath. Do this with total devotion. I guarantee after 21 days of daily practice, something truly magical will begin to happen. You will start to see how meaningless your thoughts and stories truly are. Your mind then becomes quieter and quieter, and you become more at peace with the totality of life as it is. As your thoughts soften and slow down, they begin to lose their power, and a tremendous peace descends upon your life. A new energy begins to emerge in you, an exquisite blissfulness that has no rhyme or reason, but simply exists as our core nature. This is the bliss of your being, the bliss of consciousness. That is the very core of who you are. And consciously choose to be in the now. When we consciously choose to be in now, stay away from dwelling in the past or future. And that's a challenge for many. Stay away from dwelling in the past or future. We are left with only living in the now. Here in the now, we naturally experience this pure bliss of being. And in the now, the ego falls away and is replaced by the beauty of this moment. Look closely into this precious moment. Notice that this is the only place you can relax and be yourself. You can dive deeper into the present moment by focusing on what your senses are experiencing. Bring awareness to what you are seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, and touching. After attuning to your senses on what your senses are experiencing, bring awareness to what you are seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, touching. After tuning to your senses, refocus your attention on how divine it is to have a body with amazing senses. Be fully present to each activity you engage in. An insert alertness will grow in you. This awareness naturally melts all the thoughts away, leaving you with this state of blissful feeling. Surrender to the God source. Ask yourself this question: where is the spiritual source of existence coming from? At the very core of reality, we always can find the light of awareness. When we surrender to the light of awareness, we always find profound peace. Surrender is the easiest action in the universe because it requires no action at all. All right? When we surrender to the light of awareness, we always find profound peace. Surrender is the easiest action in the universe because it requires no action at all. It is a deep letting go of efforting. In surrender, we simply relax. In this relaxation, the ego releases its tight grip on life. Surrender is all about devotion to a higher path, meaning and purpose in this life. It is a way of living life that is humble, open, loving, and true to each moment. Surrender is being deeply devoted to the egolessness of our real nature, which is always there, resting just behind our humanity. Illuminated emancipation, freedom, unalloyed and untainted bliss awaits us, but we have to choose to embark on the inward journey to discover it. So if you will, go to the place where you are not interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies. Head to toe, inside and out. Now, when you realize that you're not the body, it's much simpler to be able to look at the body and to see why it feels heavy, why it feels stressed, why it's allowing the mind and the ego to control it. And see, we have all these stresses, fears, anxieties, and worries. The reason is that we attach ourselves to the external world. This is the only reason we have these things. And that's the suffering and the pain and the anxiety and the sorrow. This is why. Because we live and seek everything in the outside world. And the ironic thing about it is that all along, everything that we engage with outside of ourselves is not going to bring us the things that we desire. Only when we go within, stay within, go into being and silent in the now, on the breath, focus, that things will begin to open up effortlessly. You ever notice when you grab onto something, emotionally, you've grabbed onto something. And we all do it. None of us are exempt throughout this life, certain times. And we don't let go of it because we want it so much. We want it so bad that we literally block it from coming to us. You see? And you imagine the times you really, really worked at something, right? You were literally occupied all the time with having whatever it was. It could be anything, okay? Animate, inanimate, whatever. But yet you put forth the effort. And you kept, I really want to get to, and it didn't happen. And your frustration, your emotions, and depression, upset, all flood in. Ego mind, say. It's ego mind. Or have you ever gotten something that you always wanted, you got it, it was great for a little bit, and then it wore off. And then your mind was looking for something else. You ever experienced that one? Waiting so long to get something, you finally get it, and it's just not, it's not as exciting as you thought it would be. So when we relax the body, each of us relax our bodies. No one else can, seriously. And any relaxation that we receive from the external world is temporary. It's just a temperance. It's not something that's long-lasting because it is not inside us. So you say, the body's carrying, pain, stress, anxiety, fear, worry, anger, frustration. And all it does is it destroys the body. Eventually it destroys the body that carries us around. Now, obviously, we don't care to have that happen. So we literally, the body releases and surrenders to all that stuff. All the stresses, fears, worries, anxiety. Whatever the storyline is in the movie that we're so attached to, we let it go. And we don't have to do anything. When you surrender, you're not really doing anything. You're just moving yourself into the now. And the body lets go of all that stuff. And that's why it feels lighter. You get to a point where you don't have a care in the world. Yeah, okay, so you're focused on a few things here and there, but you're not really, and it's no longer fixating. It's no longer obsession. It's gone. That's gone. By moving yourself into a higher enlightened state for meditation and just being, understanding who and what you are, that you're not this life. You aren't, okay? You're not Jane Smith. You're not Bill Johnson. You are the God within that body. And then you have the soul. And then we will discover what is in the soul. So as the body relaxes, and you'll know it, you become lighter, and then you're in the now. Because you're focused on what? Your divine positive energy, your breath. The soul comes in the body, powers up the body. Lungs start functioning. Oxygen starts flowing. And that's exactly why it's divine positive energy. It sustains the vessel that we're in. You take the breath away, you think the vessel's going to survive? No, it's going to end. So as long as we focus on our breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, as long as we listen and watch the breath, we'll always be in the now. Now, you'll know, because we've all experienced this more than one time, you'll know that you're not in the now when you start wandering off on thoughts that aren't yours, right? And we all do that. We just wander off into these thoughts that aren't ours. So we're not in the now. So when we do that, pain and suffering begin to occur again. Disappointment, anger, frustration, anxiety, all start coming in again because we've left the now. And the now stills the ego mind, subconscious mind. They can't interact with us because we're not in them. They are not controlling us. Every time we go into the now, it eliminates their control. But it allows us to watch them, not judge them, watch them so that we learn how to master them. It's real fascinating. But, like all of us, it's a choice that we make. It is a choice. So either we choose to or not to. Some of us are so enamored with the external physical world that we're lost in it. Our whole lives are lost in it. Striving, climbing, gritting, grabbing, pulling, moving. It's all there. And it constantly is there. Keeps us busy. It's one heck of a distraction from the gods we are. But you'll never find any answers out there anyway. And most people don't. They end up not finding any answers. They end up leaving the body. And then they go, what the heck? What did I just do? So it's always in the now. Now, we do, all of us, none of us are exempt, we'll either float back into the past, which doesn't exist, it's gone, it's dead, or we'll float into a future that doesn't exist. Everything happens in the now. Now, we have memories. We love memories. They're great. You kind of reminisce and go over things, and, a song might spark it, or a place, or just out of the clear blue. And so you savor it. You embrace it. But you don't stay there with it, see? Because you know it's moving forward. You're never looking over your shoulder. You're always moving forward. But some of us, right, will stay in that elephant graveyard, that past, dank, foggy, not a breath of air. And they'll take that past into a future that doesn't exist, create that future from that past, relive that past in that future. This is why a lot of people will say, no matter what we do, we always end up in the same place. Why is that? Because you're living in the past. And you created your future from the past. Why do you think you keep going in circles? Then some of us will go into a future that doesn't exist. Why? When is this going to happen? Why hasn't it happened? What's going on here? You know, when am I going to be happy? When am I going to have this stuff? What's going on here? Why? When? We could really get sucked into that. So the now is the bliss. Being in the now opens the door to the heart, which then opens the door to the soul. Now, we know, okay, that we're not these bodies, so we can watch the body. And crucial understanding of this body that we're in are these energy vortexes, these chakras. And we can watch them, we see them. They're 7 wheels of light. That's what they look like, a wheel of light. And we travel, the gods we are, travel in the body through these energy vortexes, which literally means we're flowing through our energy, the God's force, love, light energy, flows through these bodies. Okay? It's not in a little hovel somewhere in the center. It's everywhere. So it flows throughout our arteries, our bones, our muscles, all of our tissues, fibers, everything, emotions, everything. So as we flow, we come into contact with them as the gods that we are. An interesting thing that happens is that we can be blocked, say. And why is that? Well, if we look at the root chakra, the red wheel of light, it's right at our tailbone. It deals with our survival. It's the body's survival, not the gods in the body. It's the body's survival. Money, food, water, clothing, shelter. But yet, in the external world, where the ego and mind are king, we generate fear. Fear is an illusion. We all know that. It has no power. It is just a thought. But we give it power because we embrace it. We move that energy into form. We create it into reality. Boom. That's it. So fear, if we took a bunch of us and we went out into the wilderness and that was all we had with the clothes on our back, and we had to figure out a way to survive. So we would come together, we'd work together, rely on each other to stay alive, stay in the body. Then some of us get panicky, fearful. They're the ones that usually have to leave the body. So it's being mindful of what the blockages are in these bodies that affect our emotions, our physical well-being, everything. So then we move to the sacral chakra, the orange wheel of light. This is our sexuality and pleasure, enjoyment, bliss, happiness, everything, which is all inside of us. See, that's why people are constantly seeking to be happy outside of themselves, and then when they come across happiness, it's short-lived. It's gone. So then the mind says, we got to find more happiness, so we got to go out there and keep looking for more happiness, buying things, doing this and that. Temporary happiness. That's all it is. It's temporary happiness. But we keep doing it, see? We have to get that fixed. And It's never long-term. It's always short-term. You see how it works, ego-mind? We keep feeding the ego-mind. And ego-mind never satisfies, so we just have to keep feeding it. And then we get caught in that vicious cycle. And we suffer. We have pain, anxiety, worry, stress, doubt. And it debilitates us. It stops us from doing wonderful, great things on this planet. Because our own self-doubt and guilt stop us from doing many things. It's to know this, see? It's part of our journey while we're in these bodies to know how are these bodies actually, how do they stay in operation? What do we do in these bodies? What are we doing in them? So then we go to the yellow wheel of light, which is willpower. It's willpower to lose weight. You're committed. You stick to it. Conviction. But willpower, it can be completely destroyed by shame. And shame is no different than fear or guilt. It is an illusion. It is just a thought. Until we move energy into form, we create into reality. Next thing you know, it is a reality and we live it, and then we suffer. So this is all about choosing and having the knowledge and not being ignorant to all the facets of these bodies and what the heck we're doing in them. So then we move to the emerald green wheel of light, which is our ability to love, heart chakra. Now, another illusion, another just a thought, grief. The reason we have grief is because we don't understand who and what we are. So the grief is embraced, we move energy into form and create reality, and then we suffer. And grief blocks our ability to love. Then we move to the indigo wheel of light, third eye chakra. This deals with what? Our insight, intuition, right? But it's always blocked by illusion. So we believe the illusion. We don't know it's an illusion. Then we block our ability for literal intuition, insight about many things. And then we move to the crown chakra, the violet wheel of light, right at the top of our heads. And this is our direct connection to the divine, which is you, the God. Cosmic energy, pure consciousness. And what do you think blocks us there? Ego attachment. I can guarantee you every single time you will learn to know immediately about yourself if you're in ego attachment or you're in heart love. Okay? It's a big difference, huge difference. And you'll know it because in ego attachment, you're always doubting, fearing, worrying, stressing. What if this doesn't happen? What if this doesn't? What about this? What about that? That's ego mind. So what is heart mind love? Heart mind love is that you're oblivious. You have no connection as far as holding on to, gripping, grabbing, coveting anything, because you just surrender it. It isn't an issue. Okay, you're not in this vicious cycle. You're out of it, and that's when things flow. That's when things happen. When you're not so concentrated on something all the time. And you're not trying to force it, because then it gets to the point where you get anxious. We want to force it. We want to push it. We want to hurry it. Okay? And it's not to our liking because it's taking too long. So we want to push it. We want to push it. And that's the ego mind. Going with the flow is an art. And every one of us have the ability to embrace that art and expand upon it. So we go with the flow. And whatever happens, we don't get bent out of shape. We just go with the flow and the energies of this existence. Now, we, the God, is at the top of the head, right? We're hovering there. And we're just omnipotent. We're omnipotently powerful. So we see the pineal gland, and we know its purpose, so we release ourselves as the gods over the pineal gland. And why is it so important? Well, a healthy, happy, fully functioning, high vibrational pineal gland connects us to all the particles of existence. You know what that means? All the planes, all the realms, everything. To all the civilizations throughout all existence and beyond. The particles of existence is what the pineal gland connects us to. Now, it's not, none of us have a completely healthy, fully functioning pineal gland. So, we take it upon ourselves as the gods to pour ourselves over it. Now, you can see in your heart, mind, emotion picture, which you're the director, manager, editor, producer, everything. I see it as a green ball, little green ball, it's like a rosebud. And as soon as I pour myself over it, the God that I am, it immediately transforms it in this massive, fully bloomed rose, multicolored petals, and of wonderful fragrance, and shimmering. It sends out, it's constantly kind of a shimmer that sends out and penetrates and saturates me. And not just in one area, head to toe, inside and out. And the bliss shines forth, and the peace. And it's absolutely phenomenal. There aren't words to describe what it feels like. You just know it's bliss. It's total bliss. And then you discover that the rose is a reflection of the God within that body. So the rose is the God that you are, and the God that you are is the rose. And there's no ego attachment there. Why would there be? That's external world. So we know these bodies aren't ours. I mean, let's put it this way, we're not the body. Temporary. Okay? While we're in them, we sure as heck want to discover who and what we are from head to toe, inside and out. That's the whole point of this. Not to get attached to the external world, the material world, the physical world. Not get caught up in it. You get caught up in it, you totally abandon the heart, mind, and the God that you are, and you totally immerse yourself in external world. The illusion, the distraction. And therefore you never learn in that life about who and what you are. So the heart, mind, the ego, the subconscious mind, all of it, body, higher self, spirit, soul, God, pure consciousness, one. We also know that the soul is the heaven in the body, and the body is the earth. We are literally heaven on earth. So when we traverse, we also know, because we're consciously awake to a certain extent, that every step we take, we're creating paradise. Not only that, we're shining the God light within us outward, 360 degrees, flooding and saturating and bathing everything. All life's highest supreme value in the universe. All of our brothers and sisters, whether they're awake or asleep. Flooding everything 24/7, nonstop. We also know that we have parts of us that are asleep. They are separate. There are parts of us that are just dead asleep. And other parts of us are awake to a certain extent. So doesn't it make sense that they're with us, the asleep parts, but they don't hear us? They're asleep. They're not participating. But the other parts that we reach out to of us that are awake. So like all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Including all the ones on this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. Yet, only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be, obviously, in this meditation, forming the circle of light, complete liberation of this planet. Now, they come in the gogaplexes. One gogaplex fills this entire universe with not even a sacred inch to spare. And they come in trillions of gogaplexes from trillions of planets, universes. And the ones on this planet, we don't see but about 1% of what is because of the eyes that we have with these bodies. We can honestly feel a lot more than that. So, fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, and the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, and many, many, many more. And all of them in the gogaplexes are with us now consciously. We call upon all the off-worlders, all the galactics, all the celestials. Yet, only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming a circle of light, complete liberation of this planet. Now, the ones we're familiar with, the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the felines, the reticuli, the Nords, the Greys, the Draco, the Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian. They've been assisting us in our evolution. Enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And in the billions, they are with us now consciously. We call upon all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes. Yet only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, and be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light and complete liberation of this planet. And in the billions, they are with us now consciously. Call upon all of the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. Yet only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light, complete liberation of this planet. And they come in the billions, and they are with us now consciously. Call upon all the archangels, cherubim, seraphim, archetypes, ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, many, many, many more. Now the archangels, both of them, both the archangels and masters, of course we know that any of them, only those out of those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, And of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude really can be with us in this meditation, forming the circle of light and complete liberation of this planet. Now, they vibrate at a different frequency than we do, okay? The archangels do. So we don't see them like we see each other. Now, it'd be a passerby might say something, or you might be in a conversation with somebody, and you're getting this kind of uplifting feeling. You're not sure what it is, and then after that's done, it dawns on you, not all the time, but most of the time, it dawns on you that it was an angel. And then you experience some bliss from within you. Now, they have the same message, but they deliver it in just many different ways. And it boils down to, isn't it absolutely magna-glorious, spectacular, splendiferous to be alive in these bodies? And that is real bliss from within. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands. Because of the vibrational frequency, they can house a large number in a small area. Now, the Ascended Masters, they've mastered Ascension into physical form and mastered Ascension out of physical form. And hold pure God, pure consciousness. We've ascended into physical form, are mastering physical form, creating our experiences to perfect our creation. And arm in arm, hand in hand, we're all together in full compassion, non-judgment, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God force, love, light, energy deep within every single one of us. It is so brilliant that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns even to come close to its brightness. This is what we are, essence. This is what we're made of. Pure, deep, eternal love. That's it. And we're flooding this planet. All of our brothers and sisters, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. Everything. Eternally. Infinity. Always. You can feel it. Focus on your breath. Go into being within. Disconnect as far as all of the rat race of the physical world. And you'll discover. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll experience it. Now, we begin to ascend above the planet. As we do so, we're met with this massive ocean of glitter. It's everywhere. And we have just uncountable trillions and trillions, gigaplexions of light flashing everywhere, through us, around us, above us, below us, and in us. And we discover where the reflections are coming from are these little microscopic etched mirrors. And so we go into them, and we discover that all of us, are either teaching or learning from each other. No matter who comes into your life, they're either teaching you something or they're learning from you. Either way, or both of you are learning and teaching at the same time. This is spectacular. It's part of our endless journey because we actually are all one. Remember the illusion of separation. So we're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind ourselves that we are the power of healing. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Most haven't discovered this, but in time they will. Then we're met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with the white fire armor. And this fire emanates from the God force, love, light, energy within each and every one of us. It is unmatched. The power is immeasurable. And it is pure, deep, eternal love. And nothing can harm us, 24/7, ever. No demon possession, no attachments, no lower dark matter, survival matter, frequencies, nothing. They don't dare come near us with that high level vibrational frequency. They'll vaporize. They know it. But only you have the power. That if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, your hatred, anger, fear, stress, anxiety, worry, hurry, frustration, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies in. What happens then? Demon possession, attachments, all kinds of wonderful things. We lower our shield, we become vulnerable to the attacks from lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. It's as simple as that. Now, we do decide to do that. We're immediately met with a double column of light. They go together. And the first one is the purple transmuting flame. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all we can bring in the purple transmuting flame, we can transmute these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies in a neutralized substance, send them to pure consciousness, which is the God, and they are no more. Then we have right behind it, we have the violet ray. This is a column of light that reminds us all that right after the purple transmuting flame, we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor and restoring our vibrational harmony of the purest, deepest eternal love and the purest, deepest eternal gratitude and the purest, deepest eternal peace. Then we're met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that reminds us all that we created, that we are the sun, the sunlight, the rain, the rainbows, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, trees, the forests, the clouds, the sky, the soils, the mountains, the oceans, everything. We are everything and everything is us. So the next time you see a sunset, rainbow, starry lit night sky, sunrise, it is you. You're the beauty. You're the grandeur. You're the majesty. You're the divinity. You're perfect divinity. It's you. It's all of us. Always has been. always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. So we continue to ascend. And as we do, we come into contact with this massive crystalline light tower that we created that is larger than this solar system. Some of us step outside our physical form to hover effortlessly above it. Why? Because we can. And in this crystalline light tower, in the column, there's this massive oblong sphere, and in the center of the sphere is this golden yellow-white ball of light, and it is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light. And they're all sending this massive misting. It's almost a sparkling energy that just soaks us and saturates us, head to toe, inside and out, endlessly. And we discover that the golden white ball of light is the highest of the deepest eternal love. Then comes one of the rings in, the highest of the deepest eternal gratitude. And then we have gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, well-being, great wealth, great abundance, great happiness, and tranquility and benevolence and prosperity and abundance. It's unending. These are constant. And then we discover that all it is a reflection of the gods within these bodies. That's the way it's always been. It's just that we've been so distracted, we haven't acknowledged it. Now, at the top, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down, 360 degrees, as it's doing right now. For all of us, flooding us all, saturating us all, bathing us all. Now, this golden ocean is the purest of the deepest eternal love. And think about this, feel it through your heart minds. How much of this love is being flooded onto us, in us, around us, above us, and below us, nonstop, from every avenue, from every direction. Now, we're drops of this golden ocean. We also hold its essence. Golden ocean, this is drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We created this sphere over 3.5 years ago. It holds over 1,500 of our meditations in perpetual motion, which means they never fade, they never weaken at all. They're always there. And all of that, of over 1 billion of us on and off world in this meditation, and consciously aware to a certain extent, literally flooding this planet, this civilization, with all of that intent, with all of those meditations. You see the power? That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And that's why it continues to intensify and it continues to expand. Talk about bliss, because it's all a reflection of what's inside these bodies, the gods that we are. Divine perfection, the only thing that does not change. You feel all this energy, this frequency, however you want to view it. And then you realize the bliss of the Creator forever permeates all of creation. And it's only in the forgetting is when we suffer, is when misery exists. It's when we forget who and what we are. It's when we forget that we are gods in these bodies. Pure consciousness, deep, pure, eternal love. This is why we suffer, because most of us have forgotten. And we're here to learn again who and what we are. And everything in your lives will change. And the bliss that you are is what you'll be. I'll join you in meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Illuminated emancipation, freedom, unalloyed and untainted bliss. Await all of us, but we have to choose to embark on the inward journey to discover it. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night. Following morning, we will be back here Thursday, August 12th, 2021, 3 p.m., to continue our global guided meditation.